Breaking news, Donald Trump knows that his chances of winning the White House just got much slimmer after President Biden bowed out of the race and endorsed his Vice President Kamala Harris as the new Democratic nominee. That is why Donald Trump is currently melting down on Truth Social. He has sent about 5 to 6 posts since the announcement was made a few hours back, and I want to break that down. But first, Trump allies begin attacking Harris as a leading super PAC launches new ad in 4 battleground states. We want to know how they are going to frame this attack against VP Harris, and this gives us some good insights. Donald Trump's allies are launching attack ads targeting VP Harris in the wake of President Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 presidential race, previewing sharp criticism and targeting key battleground states. We want to be prepared. We want to be ready to take down MAGA and make sure we can uplift our new nominee, VP Harris. I am excited, and this is the first time in the past few months that I feel like we might actually have a shot if we work our asses off. So, the leading pro-Trump super PAC, MAGA Inc., launched a new 30-second spot Sunday, first shared on social media, blasting Harris and saying she, quote, covered up Joe Biden's obvious mental decline. The group also announced plans to air the ad in battleground states of Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Pennsylvania. Quote, Kamala was in on it. She covered up Joe Biden's obvious mental decline, opens up the new ad. It includes clips of Harris praising Biden's performance as president, saying, quote, our president is in good shape, in good health, tireless, vibrant, and I have no doubt about the strength of the work that we have done. But everything VP Harris said there was true. They have done absolutely amazing work. President Biden has been fine. It wasn't until the debates that he seriously started to raise concerns about his mental health. The ad continues, quote, but Kamala knew Joe couldn't do the job, so she did it. Look at what she's got done. A border invasion, runaway inflation, the American dream, Dad, they created this mess. Kamala owns this failed record. If you want to pin the Biden-Harris administration's record solely on Harris, that is a great strategy for the Democrats. The Biden-Harris administration has passed historic legislation in multiple facets of our society, including infrastructure, climate change, COVID, healthcare. They have passed so much historic legislation that if you're going to try to pin it all on President Harris, then good luck. What I think they're actually going to do is try to dig up all of the failures of the Biden administration, the few failures, and try to pin those on VP Harris while conveniently ignoring the many policy successes that the Biden administration has accomplished. The Biden-Harris administration, we should rebrand, make sure we say that Harris has helped accomplish a bunch of this stuff. So for some more updates, RFK Jr. calls on Dems to hold open process. Nobody cares about RFK Jr. Also, Biden exited the re-election race later than any previous president. It's not unprecedented for an incumbent president to abandon his re-election campaign, but it is rare, and no president until Joe Biden has been pressured out of a re-election campaign out of concerns about his mental fitness. But to move on to what Donald Trump is saying on Truth Social, he first said, does anybody really believe that Crooked Joe had COVID? No, he wanted to get out ever since June 27th, the night of the debate, where he was completely obliterated. That was the big moment in Joe Biden's demise. That was the point in time when Joe was revealed for what he is, an incompetent man who should never have been president. Joe Biden is not fit to serve. He is destroying our country. But if Joe Biden really wanted to drop out immediately after the debate, then he would have. He is the leader. It was his decision. He would have bowed out immediately. He didn't do it until he got COVID and he realized that he is sick. He may not have the energy to do this. He also tweeted out immediately, crooked Joe Biden is the worst president by far in the history of our nation. He said stuff about the southern border, energy dominance. Again, they're going to try to pin all of the bad facets of the Biden administration on Harris while ignoring the many policy accomplishments. And just for a few of them, just because I think we should start championing the Biden administration, on day one, they tried to restore our presence on the global stage by reversing Trump's energy policies. They re-entered us in the Paris Climate Accord. They revoked the permit for the Keystone Pipeline. We can also list the amazing amount of legislation they passed: the American Rescue Plan, Bipartisan Infrastructure Act, Build Back Better Act, Inflation Reduction Act, PACT Act, Chips and Science Act, executive orders, the Afghanistan withdrawal, so many different things that the Biden administration was able to accomplish that Donald Trump could only dream of accomplishing. He then said, Crooked Joe just got knocked out, so I'll have to do it a 4th time. He then said, my debate with Crooked Joe Biden, the worst president in the history of the United States, was slated to be broadcast on fake news ABC, the home of George Slop Papadopoulos, actually George Stephanopoulos, sometime in September. Now that Joe has, not surprisingly, quit the race, I think the debate with whomever the radical left Democrats choose should be held on Fox News rather than very biased ABC. Thank you, Donald J. Trump. The way he signs his name is incredibly weird, but Donald Trump is already trying to bow out of the race with VP Harris because he understands that Vice President Harris could prosecute the case against him better than President Biden could. I'm sorry, I love President Biden, but when we were writing out the pros and cons list for VP Harris, we said that VP Harris can successfully prosecute the case against Donald Trump. The age attack is now nullified. She was a former prosecutor and she can take him down. He also said, so we are forced to spend time and money on fighting crooked Joe Biden. He pulls badly after having a terrible debate and quits the race. We now have to start all over again. Shouldn't the Republican Party be reimbursed for fraud and that everybody around Joe, including his doctors and the fake news media, knew he was not capable of running or being president? Just asking. The way he types is so weirdly, but he's asking for a reimbursement for the money that they've spent on ads attacking Joe Biden. You don't get a reimbursement for attack ads when things don't go your way. But the reason why Donald Trump is melting down is because polling, when Harris is involved rather than Biden, actually looks better for VP Harris. Now, we only have a few sample sets, but CNN said the polling is better, and this article summarizes some of it. VP Harris is the most likely replacement for President Joe Biden, who dropped out of his 2024 presidential bid just today and endorsed Harris. A flurry of polls conducted in the wake of June 27th presidential debate showed Harris performing roughly the same as Biden against Trump, who has been leading the president by a slim margin for months. Some of the polls show them leading roughly the same. Some of the polls show Harris behind. Some of them show her ahead. And more recent polls after the attempted assassination of Trump show similar trends. Harris has also polled better than other Democrats commonly floated as replacement candidates to Biden, but the polls didn't factor in how months of campaigning could change voters' perceptions of many of the lesser-known candidates that don't have the benefit of name recognition like Harris does. One CBS YouGov poll conducted last week gave Harris a slight edge. Trump led Harris by 3 points, 51% to 48%, while leading Biden by 52% to 47%. So Harris does poll better than Biden in this high-quality poll, and that is not taking into account the fact that Harris is about to start relentlessly campaigning. Harris is going to go out there and prosecute the case against Donald Trump, explain the fake electors case, explain the Brad Raffensperger phone call, explain January 6th and the Supreme Court ruling. Once VP Harris can go successfully do that, she should be leading. However, an Economist YouGov poll conducted July 13th to 16th, released Thursday, found Biden would lose to Trump 41 to 43%, and Harris would perform slightly worse, 39 to 44. But hopefully, campaigning would change that. Again, a Reuters Ipsos poll conducted and released Tuesday after the attempted assassination found both Biden and Harris are virtually statistically tied with Trump, but 69% of respondents see Biden as too old to work in the government. So, if VP Harris can shed some of the age concerns about Biden while maintaining his impressive record, we will be in a good spot. Democratic polling firm Ben Dixon and Amandi found Harris beating the former president 42% to 41%, beating the former President Donald Trump 42% to 41%. That's great. The margin of error is 3.1 in a survey released June 9th and first obtained by Politico, while Biden, Whitmer, and Newsom all trail Trump. So we have work to do. We can phone bank, we can canvass, we can door knock. There are so many different ways that your voice can be heard in our democracy, so make sure you're doing that. My name is Mockler. Make sure you leave a like on this video. Make sure you comment a blue heart, hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great day.